shirts first. I'm sorry. That shirt. I gotta bring up the shirt though. Before we get to the conversation.
Hold on.
That shirt is fire. Is that made of vinyl?
Hold on.
Wait.
That shirt is so dope.
Wait. Stay right there. You got to do the Rob Van Dam. Yeah. There you go. There it is.
We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Can do, everybody. We are back in the mix. We are the one and only The Beat Connection. And to my left, yeah, right, depending on where you're sitting and where you're looking, we have singer-songwriter producer.
Hey, y'all, it's Alexa Gold.
Hey. And to the bottom, we have our resident Human Torch, our resident big lighter, torch lighter, if you will. We have my man.
Azrael, DiCaprio, Waldo Squad in the building.
Hey. And y'all already know me. I'm your man, Shizz, the Can Do Kid. And once again, we are The Beat Connection.
Yeah.
And, hey, so this one's going to be a fun one. The cool thing we always say about hip-hop, right, is hip-hop borrows from all over the place, whether it be jazz, rock, folk, whatever the case may be. But I always say the funnest thing is to go outside the box sometimes. And I don't know about y'all, you being you guys, the people, one of the best memories as a kid, right, was always watching TV. But not only watching TV, but I always made sure because I wanted to see not only the content and the show, but I wanted to hear the music. I wanted to hear that opening theme song because it was always fire. And I don't know about y'all, but I think, you know what I'm saying, today's theme songs ain't really hitting like they used to, but that's just my opinion. One of my all-time favorites is, I don't even think I can do it, like, so bang, bang, bang. If y'all haven't caught it yet, hey, that's the Night Rider theme.
Yeah.
This episode, we are going to be discussing said theme and the track that, you know what I'm saying, borrowed it. So with all that being said, I'm going to stop running my mouth. And who wants to raise their hand and go first?
Ladies first.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm glad that you brought it up in terms of like the theme music for different songs, particularly back in the day. And I would say what I noticed is that not that there aren't like real musicians, you know, creating music for a lot of the shows that we're familiar with and that are popular today, but definitely a lot of the theme songs that were created in the past were created by a lot of actually well-known musicians, well-known artists. That was a part of like their overall artistry. So yeah, you had people like that. You also had like different crews of people, you know, creating music for these shows as well, for the theme music. And so it's interesting for the Night Rider theme, which I think is so distinct and it's so like, I mean, I don't really know anyone who doesn't know it. You know, right, it's so iconic.
If you don't know that theme song, you a cornball. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's so distinct, it's so iconic. And for Busta Rhymes, like, I really personally, I could not imagine anyone else.
I was about to say, like,
over this.
Who else would be like perfect for that joint? Not saying that because again, and I know he about to raise his hand. And you know what? I'm not going to steal your point.
No, go ahead. Finish. No, I'm not going to do that to you. Go ahead, finish.
Well, no, because the only thing I was going to say, and that was the first thing I thought of was who else. But and side note, Busta Rhymes is my all-time favorite MC. So just the side note. But just to put that out there, who else but Busta could do it? But let's not forget the Timbaland and Magoo version also.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
But again, that theme song, that Night Rider track is such a thorough beat, yo, to like literally all you had to do was take it.
Yeah.
Add like a little bit of salt and pepper to it or whatever and put some bars and yeah, read what you got, man.
All right. So one, the Night Rider theme song, it's almost synonymous with my childhood. Like, it's funny because Night Rider was only on for what, 3, 3 years.
Yeah, it wasn't on very long.
It wasn't on long. It wasn't on long. And yet because of syndication, we all know it. We all know it. Before I go deep into the Stu Phillips side of things, I do want to give credit to Timbaland and Magoo. And here's why. Because Timbaland and Magoo's version came out first. Okay. Timbaland and Magoo's version came out I forget what date. I want to say it was the November before Busta put out Fire It Up as a single.
Right.
So that was the first time I had ever heard anybody rap over it. So salute to them. And their version, taking nothing away from their version. Their version is more of a go-go vibe, kind of custom made for the DMV area. The Busta version, though, the Busta version just has more. I don't want to say replay value because that kind of cheapens the Timbaland and Magoo version, but I feel like the Busta version is just special. It's special, but I'm gonna let one of y'all fill in real quick. But I just want to give a shout out to Stu Phillips for that melody, and for him to take us. I think at the time he was working with what's the guy's name? Glenn Larson, I think is the creator of Night Rider. They had worked previously together on a few shows. I think when I was listening to an interview,
I want to say one of their other notable ones was Battlestar Galactica.
That's the one. That's the one. Thank you. They had a long tenure of working there. So Glenn and Mr. Larson ended up hitting up Stu Phillips and saying that he needed something that was kind of futuristic. And Stu Phillips said, what's more futuristic than a synthesizer?
Right.
So the synthesizer is what drives that theme song so well. Like, you don't, as a kid, you don't even realize what you're hearing. As an adult, and as you appreciate music, it's like something so simple and yet so complex.
And shout out to the synthesizer, yo, because more and more I'm starting to realize how much the synthesizer is a beast.
The rabbit hole I went down because of the synthesizer just to film this episode and a few more that we got coming. Like, whoo! I'll let whoever wants to come in.
Yeah, I actually want to add on to that. So first of all, the synthesizer as a machine, as an instrument, it pretty much, it really did change the game, particularly for, I want to say for keyboardists, for pianists, you know, it changed the game for people who primarily played, you know, pretty much like a standard, like upright piano, you know, now that you can kind of like segue into using something that was more electronic. It's like kind of going from acoustic guitar to electric guitar, you know, now that you're kind of able to use something that you can kind of carry more so, and also the assortment of sounds that you're able to get out of a synthesizer. Because now not only can you play like just, you know, straight, you know, grand piano, you know, but you can also get, you know, different sounds for like drums. You can program just an assortment of sounds. So yeah, we can definitely have a conversation about that another time. But the synthesizer, it's just an incredible instrument, and I think it changed the game technologically for people who were instrumentalists and musicians. And of course, you know, for this particular song, I wanted to, because I know that Stu and Glenn were the ones who created this theme song, but I don't want to skip over the fact that they kind of got the idea from,
go ahead.
Which, you know, if we're talking about ancestry, you know, and all of that.
Real talk, I was going to let you go for it because I'm not about to chop up the title of... I'm not about to chop, so you go ahead and have that.
Yeah, but look, so I don't have, I'm not even going to say the Latin version of the song, like, excuse me, the title, but I believe
Cortege de Bacchus.
Yes, March and Procession of Bacchus, right?
Cortege de Bacchus. That's how it's called.
Act 3, number 14.
Yes, so y'all got that. But for me, definitely, I thought it was important to remember that, you know, they did take a snippet of that, because it's a ballet, you know, that's been performed all over the world. And for anyone who is interested in classical music, that might be something that you might want to look into. Yeah.
Real quick. So Cortez de Bacchus was the name of the song. Sylvia was the name of the play.
Absolutely.
The opera. The opera. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that in because I kept forgetting that myself when I was doing my research. I just wanted to piggyback. Go ahead.
Right. So they kind of like took, and it's really, when you listen to the classical piece, is really like the beginning of the song.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. But it's easy to miss though, because we're so programmed and conditioned to listen to or to hear the synthesized version. But it really is like, and it's fascinating too, because we're talking about this iconic song, and I don't think we give enough, you know, and myself included, I'm not judging, but like, you know, it was this classical piece that gave us, you know, kind of like, you know, the main melody for this particular song, you know, for the Knight Rider theme. So yeah, I wanted to put that out there because I was like, it's dope how they were able to take that small piece from, like, let's say a 15-minute long song and hear this one like 30-second, you know, melody, and we're able to transition that, or, you know, transcend and create something that was like, you know, classic.
Okay. I'm gonna let you get it real quick. So for the people, the viewers and listeners, the watchers and the hearers, right? If you haven't already established yet, we are talking Busta Rhymes and his man Spliff. We're talking Turn It Up remix, aka Fire It Up. That was off the album When Disaster Strikes. Again, produced by Busta Rhymes with the help of Spliff Star, and that was released in it was April of '98. There we go. Yeah. They sampled the sound from Stu Phillips and Mr. Glenn Larson, which is the Knight Rider theme. If anybody has the proper name for it, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. Comments will be turned on, by the way. I'm sorry if they haven't been. But also the producer, again, like we said, composed by Stu Phillips and Glenn Larson. And the Knight Rider show had ran from September '82 to, I want to say, April '86. They did some remakes and all that good stuff, but primarily what everybody's main focus is, you know what I'm saying, what everyone remembers is Kit and David Hasselhoff. Go ahead, Reed, what you got?
No, I just wanted to piggyback off of Lex's comment, because one of the things that I did note, and I forgot to mention, when composing the Knight Rider theme song, Stu Phillips said he was just coming up with random sounds, and Glenn Larson, the creator of Knight Rider, said, I need more melody for this to work. So what happened was he started humming in his head a melody, and subconsciously it's the melody from the Sylvia play that Lexa just mentioned. He didn't even realize that it was the melody. He played his version for somebody else. He was like, and the person he played it for was like, oh, the Cortez de Bacchus. And he was like, what are you talking about? So subconsciously you're hearing music, and it's inspiring you even if you don't even realize it. And I can't get the year of when that opera was created. I want to say 1640 something. I could be wrong. Fact check me. But it's just amazing how you can get so inspired and not even realize, you know, what's going on subconsciously.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy too is the butterfly effect. Shout out Ashton Kutcher. But the butterfly effect, the positive butterfly effect from, you know what I'm saying, from opera to Stu Phillips to Timbaland Magoo to Busta Rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And the even more dope thing about this too is this was during a period, 98 being a period, that time frame, that era of when remixes were relevant, I should say. And he did the original Busta, he did the original joint, which was a sample of, what was it, Love and Happiness, Al Green?
Love and Happiness, Al Green.
And then did a remix with another sample. So eventually we'll end up diving into that track as well with Al Green, and then probably revisiting this Night Rider joint. But off the top of my head, you know what I'm saying, it's such a dope idea, and we'll probably have to do some more homework on it. But I can only maybe think of one other theme song that was used for a track, which is another one of my favorites. But shout out to Cameron for
that was the one I was thinking about.
You know what I'm saying, the Magnum PI joint, because and again, the Magnum PI track was a dope sound, and then Cam did his thing, and put out another dope track. So it's crazy how all of that works. But again, I always say, and again, not discrediting anybody else to sample the beat, but who else but Busta Rhymes, yo? And then also, I can't speak on it without giving shout outs to the video as well, because the video itself was dope. Was dope. It was a dope video. Even to him mimicking the car sound or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? That whole concept behind everything was dope. It was just fire.
Lexi, you ever thought? I don't want to interrupt.
No. I did, but we can wait till the end.
Okay. It's funny that Fired Up is a remix of Turn It Up. Outside of the sampling thing, there's not much in common between the two records. They're almost two totally different songs.
Right.
So I listened to Turn It Up again in preparation for this. The only thing those two records have in common is a call and response hook. And if you're an artist, you know what a call and response hook is. That's when you purposely make the chorus line so that the audience can chant back to you. So where Busta Rhymes says "fired up," that's for the audience to really say. And the original version is "turn it up." That's the call and response. Aside from that, the only thing those records have in common is Busta Rhymes mentioning the S500 Benz. That's the only thing that those two records have in common. I really tried to catch it, and what I really appreciate about Busta Rhymes "Fired Up," and you mentioned it with Shizz, you mentioned it with him mimicking the car. In essence, it becomes a concept song then. You know, for 16 bars, he's giving you a concept of the S500 Benz coming to save him, essentially being Knight Rider. Right. That's, you know how hard it is to tell a story on a commercial record. Like, kudos to that man. Kudos to Busta Rhymes. And I'm just glad we're having this conversation, because I think Busta Rhymes, like Shizz said, is one of the best to ever do it. Busta might be my first favorite rapper ever. And I was ecstatic to have this conversation, because I think Busta Rhymes is a GOAT. Easy.
Bus, we gotta get you on here, Bus.
I'm curious as to I'm curious as to like both of your appreciation of him. Like, my appreciation might be a bit different because I appreciate his extreme creativity. You know, that's something for me that I always felt like I appreciated about him. Not, you know, I wasn't one that listened to like his albums in full. I don't have any of his albums or anything like that. I always loved his singles, but I know aside from being like a great lyricist, he's extremely creative, you know, and that's something that it makes him stand out that much in hip hop. Just like the amount of fun and humor and comedy and the timing and just like, you know, his ability to use sort of like the absurd or expand upon the absurd and the sort of like fantastical images, like imagery, and inject that into, you know, his videos. Because like, you know, seeing him around, he's probably like a super cool dude, maybe real chill and also, you know, really funny, but you know, it's not like he's not like a character. He's not like on all the time. Like, I don't imagine him to be that way. But what he does artistically, he's able to bring like all the things that he has in his mind, bring that out into, you know, the videos. And I think that's one thing that I will always like appreciate him for, but always like really be grateful, like that he was so fearless. Like,
one thing I will say about Busta Rhymes, and this is just to piggyback off everything you said, because you can't talk Busta Rhymes without talking his creativity.
Right.
Without Busta Rhymes, you don't get Missy Elliott. Without Busta Rhymes, you don't get Ludacris. There's almost like a creative bloodline that comes after Busta Rhymes, and I feel like in hip hop, if you know, like people really love Busta Rhymes, but you always hear the same names when it comes to ghosts.
Right.
And Busta's name isn't always there, and that offends me. Because I was there when Wuha. I was a kid, but I was there.
His longevity, like, remember leaders of the new school, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we got a 30-year career going on here, man.
And I've yet to, outside of the one shady beef that went on with Murder Inc. and all that, I've never heard anybody say anything negative or not say they don't mess with Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes can give you something fast, he can give you something slow, he can harmonize, he's creative, his bars are fire. And I've always been a fan of his energy. I've always loved Busta Rhymes. And outside of his creativity, I love his energy. And I would love to go to a Busta show, like, for real.
I have never seen a Busta Rhymes performance where he didn't leave it all on the stage. Busta Rhymes is the epitome of a showman in hip hop. And that was another reason why I was glad. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever see this, but let it be known.
Oh, boss, you gonna see this, boss.
Yeah, well, but let it be known, Busta Rhymes is hands down. You don't have hip hop without Busta Rhymes. Like Scenario, Flavor in Your Ear remix, and
I ain't gonna start.
And I know everybody loves Biggie's verse, but hey, all right, you know what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and to Lex's point. I don't know if either of you guys follow Busta Rhymes, but I love following Busta Rhymes on Instagram. He is one of the few elder statesmen in hip hop that is constantly around younger energy, championing them. Like one of my favorite videos that he posted recently, I think it was him and Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda had just came home from jail. And you can't hear what he's saying to him, but you can tell he's encouraging him. It's authentic, and it's like, if we as black people move the way that Busta Rhymes does, we'd be in a lot better place.
Wow.
And not to get all super woke, but that's when I look at Busta Rhymes, he's what I aspire to be as an older gentleman in this culture.
Oh, wow.
And think about it too, right? We're talking Bus outside, because primarily speaking on hip hop and the sample culture in hip hop. That's what we do as the D Connection. We talk samples, and I would be remiss because again, we all love Busta Rhymes. We just did a whole soliloquy, synopsis, dissertation of Busta Rhymes, right? But we're in it specifically speaking on this track. Aside from the early, this track. We would not be having this discussion without Mr. Stu Phillips and Glenn Larson. And again, like I said in the beginning, in the age of sitcoms and all of that kind of stuff, kudos, shout out, big up, salute, whatever you want to say, to give somebody their flowers, give them their props. We would not be having this conversation and discussion if it wasn't for what they did. And just like we said with Busta Rhymes' energy, I watched a couple of Stu Phillips interviews as well. And watching his energy or whatever, he's a dope dude. And I would love to sit down and talk to him just as well, because like I said, in the age of sitcoms, for them to create a piece, and sitcom theme songs aren't that long. So to create a small piece for it to withstand and hold not only that current test, but the test of time as a whole, to where that theme song is just as recognizable as the characters in the show itself themselves.
So, if not more so.
Right. So you would have to, give a shout out and give big ups to Stu Phillips, Glenn Larson, Kit, David Hasselhoff, the creators.
Shout out the kid. Shout out the kid. I'm still mad. One of my homies broke my kit card when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yo, real quick.
Give him a shout out. Go for it.
Yo, real quick. I'm glad you reeled me back in and brought it back to Stu Phillips, because Stu Phillips actually had history in doo-wop. I was watching an interview with him, and he said that he had worked on a record called Blue Moon by a doo-wop group called the Marcells. That song is fire if you're in the doo-wop. Like it's a great record. I meant to bring that up earlier. Thank you, Shizz, for bringing me back in.
Okay, Lex, what you got? You was like you holding on to something.
Well, it's funny because I guess there's so many like different avenues that we can take the conversation. And one thing that I was thinking about earlier that I kind of wanted to hold on to till now was the fact that this is why it's good to have a wide range of interest and like to open your ears up to, different kinds of music, maybe read different books, whatever, like your thing is. But it's good as an artist to be into, to have a wide range of interests and to be into things or to check out things that are different from what you usually do, because you never know where inspiration is going to come from. And I mean, I'm kind of more speaking on maybe like the philosophical, intuitive side, but definitely Stu started humming something that, maybe he had saw God knows when. I don't know exactly when he witnessed the opera, but for whatever reason, it came up just at that right moment. But if he didn't watch that, if he wasn't open to classical music, if he wasn't open to watching operas or, seeing what was out there in terms of different kinds of entertainment, we might not have, this particular song. I don't want to say anything, is impossible, but it's just like, who knows how the song might have, been brought to life. So
without that melody.
Yeah, so I think, and also too, I'm very interested in, what is Busta Rhymes into? What does he read? What does he listen to? What is he into? Right. Because for him to have this kind of like immense creativity, he can't just be watching and listening to the same things over and over again. Like, I don't think it's anything like that. So I definitely just wanted to bring it out as far as like, we're all artists here, and one thing about artists, and our respective artistic fields is that, and for whoever's watching who's an artist in their own right, whether you cook, whether, you create things by hand, whether you sing, whether you rap, photography, media, whatever you do, it's important to have like a really like open mind and an expansive, range of interest, because you never know when like that source of inspiration is going to strike, and
that spark. You
never know, how it's gonna turn out, man.
Beautifully put. So, Mr. DiCaprio, for your last thoughts, what do you have, sir?
Lex wrapped it up really well. And to piggyback off what she said, just real quick, Stu Phillips did say that he prefers classical music. He prefers classical and jazz, but he can do pop as well. So just to piggyback off what she said, when you can draw from so many different inspirations, the spark can come from anywhere. That spark can come from anywhere. And what you do with it is pure artistry.
Yeah.
I want to salute Busta Rhymes. Because he did what every kid who loves hip hop wants to do. When you hear certain theme songs, it's like, yo, I want to rap over that. I wanted to kill the Knight Rider beat 1,000 times as a kid. Like I started writing my first verse when I was maybe like in 3rd or 4th grade or something like that. So when Knight Rider would come on, you start freestyling in your head. That's a rapper's dream, to be able to clear that sample, to put it out, and that's an iconic record in hip hop. Yeah. Like, and it's not just because of Knight Rider. Of course, Knight Rider drives it, but again, it's Busta Rhymes. Like that's one of his greatest hits. Literally, it's on multiple Busta Rhymes greatest hits albums. Like he made a hit out of a childhood dream. There's a reason why he picked that sample. Like and that's the beauty of hip hop and classical, and I never thought I'd say this on the show, TV theme songs. Like, the inspiration from music can come from anywhere, from anywhere. And look, we're almost out of time in this conversation because of how passionate we are about both records. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna end it there. I just want to again salute Stu Phillips, salute Glenn Larson, salute I forget the brother's name who actually composed Sylvia, Leo DeLeaves. That was his name. That was the brother that created Cortez de Bacchus. I want to salute him as well. Busta Rhymes, Spliff Star. Just thank you for the pieces of music history.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so I gotta follow all of that. I'm gonna get. Oh nah, I gotta get my piece in for my guy. So so I'll say this, right? Couple things. First, if I was to become a rapper, right, or MC lyricist, Busta Rhymes is who I would want to be. You know what I'm saying? That's who I would want to be as an MC. You know what I'm saying? So straight out, like I said in the beginning, he's my number one all time, and going to continue to be, and he's still grinding, getting busy, and putting out work. But also shout out to Stu and Glenn, because again, I think the Night Rider thing has to again be one of my number one all time themes. And for someone who listens to things outside of specifically quote unquote the culture, I love the Night Rider theme. I remember bumping it in a car just because I wanted to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I love, for me, I'm a fan of outside of the box pieces of music. And again, thank you for that, because we were granted with we were blessed with the abilities and skills of Busta Bus to do what he did, him and Spliff. So, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to all those gentlemen is in a whole, honestly. And again, always want to ask the question and end with the tagline is, what made Bus decide he wanted to use it? You know what I'm saying? What was going through his mind at this particular point, or whenever he decided, whenever he heard it and was like, I want to use this, like what made him gravitate towards that sound, and what made him be like, yo, I want to take that because I'm about to eat this thing up. Yeah. So that's off the top of my head. That's all I got. Shout out to everybody. Like I always say, it was heat all across the board. And for the last time today, I will say, we are the Beat Connection. I am your man, the Can-Do Kid, Shizz. To my left, you're right, depending on how you looking. You know what I'm saying? We have singer-songwriter producer.
Yes, Alexa Gold.
And on the bottom, we have my brother from another, our resident fireman,
Cerebral Assassin, Azrael DiCaprio.
And I think it's safe to say it's a wrap on that, yo.
Yeah, it's a wrap, y'all. Please like, share, subscribe. Make sure to comment on our videos. You know, we are on Instagram. We're also on YouTube as well. So check out both platforms for more videos, more content. Like, we're definitely bringing more heat. Absolutely. So it's coming, man. So stay tuned for the next episode. Don't forget to comment and let us know like what conversations you would like for us to discuss, what artists you would like for us to discuss, and make sure to get in on the conversation.
A quick question, yo.
And talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Yeah, talk real nice. But quick question for you two and for the people. You ain't gotta answer now. But if you had the option to have a car, which car would it be? Like, which car would be your kit car? You know what I'm saying? I already know. Mine would be the Porsche Panamera. I don't know what it is, but I would use that. So thank y'all. I'll let y'all eat and chew on that for the people. And please comment below. If you had the option to take kit and make it a different car, which car would it be?
That's a dope question.
That is a dope question.
I got to think about that.
I'm a fan of the Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
me too.
I think we
Peace,
got
y'all.
around joint, like.
Yeah. Hey.
Right.
You must have believed. All right, relax. Shout out to
Peace,
Busta.
y'all.